The Legacy Files with Grant Cameron.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Grant Cameron, and I'm just coming off of Canada Day here in Canada. So I've got my glasses on and my hat, and we went out. And I saw the fireworks, but I didn't go there. I actually just could stand from my house and watch them. So we've done that, and now we're back to business. But unfortunately, my partner, co-author and assistant and doer of everything, Desta Barnabe was actually not celebrating Canada Day yesterday. She was busy working on all the material that we're about to do. And we're going to talk about Patreon. We're going to start a Patreon, and there's a couple things. First of all, that we had one, and we didn't realize we had one. And Desta discovered this a couple days ago. And so we've written a letter of apology to all the patrons that we had. And we're going to make sure we get all the material that we have up on a Patreon site. That's what Desta was working on yesterday, along with her fiance, who's a magic guy with art and with websites and stuff like that. And these people are supposed to be working. I'm an old guy. I can sit here. I don't need the money. But Matt the pawn guy and Desta have to pay a mortgage. So we're gonna get some of the stuff. My intention in life as I get older and older is I want to make sure everything I've got is on the access to people. I'm the catastrophic disclosure guy. I don't give a shit what your excuse is for keeping it secret. I'm telling everything. So what we're going to have on the Patreon site is we're going to put, and this just reminded me, one of the things I'm going to put up there is all the documents I've leaked. What you'll see if you go in through the records, you'll see that most of the documents, major documents that were leaked and never found to be fraud, were all ones I dropped. I dropped the CIA memo where they channeled an alien. I had the Johnson UFO study. I had the Wilson leak document, the alien autopsy document, the whole thing with Douglas Aircraft doing a UFO study, 250 pages of that study. There's a lot of stuff that I put on the internet, and we're going to have it on our Patreon site. And we've been talking the last couple of days about what we want to get on there. And I just want to make sure that I've got the stuff that I've never really released before. And a couple of things, we've got 3 videos. One we just discussed it, and Desta's going to look into it. One is a video of an experiencer that was introduced to me by the one and only Tim Taylor. Tim Taylor told me about 2 experiencers, which gave me the idea that I've always expressed to people that you've got to start watching the experiencers. They're the ones that have the answers. And Tim Taylor, of course, was watching the experiencers. He was watching Chris Bledsoe. And then he had these 2 women. And the one woman, I can't remember, she wasn't home or something. And he said, the other woman, I think she lives near you and used to live near you in Canada. She now lives in Florida, but she lived 35 miles away. She lived in Steinbach, Manitoba, which Desta will know what that is, very close to Winnipeg. And he said, do you want to talk to her? And I said, yeah, sure. So I'm on Tim Taylor's cell phone and he phones her in Florida and I'm talking to her and I've got an interview with her that I've never released. I'm going to release the interview. It's classic. She talks about the beings, about 5-year old, the craft sighting. She talks about being very psychic, which is a big part of the interview. That she was so psychic after this was happening that she said it was like being on the internet 24/7. And she said she actually said to the aliens, "You've got to stop. I can't take this anymore. You can't do this to me." And they stopped for a period of time, and then she said, "Okay, you can start again." That video will be going up, and the third video is actually escaping me. What the third video is but these videos will go up on there. The 10 best UFO sightings. I'm doing a book, but we're going to put one at a time, maybe an audio version on the Patreon site of the 10 best UFO sightings that I've seen in 50 years. And I go from number 10. We'll do these one at a time, do a podcast on each of these interviews. And I've got that I want to get up there. And I've gotten very close to near-death experiences. I absolutely state that if you look at near-death experiences, you're going to start to understand what's going on in the UFO phenomena. So I want to open up a section for near-death experiencers to post their sightings, to have discussions. And Desta and I in the past, we'll have on Patreon, we did this in the past. We used to have the rabbit hole, which was very, very popular. And Desta still got the list of names and stuff, and we're going to open it up to the Patreon, where every month we're going to do three 1 hour, not long sessions that we used to do, 3 hour sessions, three 1 hour sessions. One will be on near-death experiences. We're going to try it out. I don't know how many near-death experiencers will be there at the beginning, but we do one there where they can come on and they can tell their story. They can turn their camera off. They can change their name. They can do whatever they want, and they can sort of tell their story that they were not allowed to tell to their family, that their family just isn't interested. And that's the same that with the UFO. We'll have a UFO discussion, which we've had many times before, where people can ask questions of Desta or I, and then the experiencer session, which we used to call the rabbit hole, where people would come on there. And I think at one time we had almost 100 people on the rabbit hole, experiencers who wanted to tell their story. And because people who are sort of on the outside who haven't had the experience don't realize that it's very tough to be an experiencer. Like in fact, I told the funny joke that I used to live in Winnipeg and I now live in Vancouver. And my son, I live in a suite that my son has in his house. And one of his friends came from Winnipeg and he said, "Oh, I hear you're into UFOs. I heard they're going to start disclosing stuff." And I started talking. And about 1 minute in, he said, hang on, you can stop. I lost you 3 sentences ago. And this is the whole deal, is that a lot of people just aren't interested in this. So experiencers have a real hard time. And what they find is very sort of healing is to be able to come on a session where everybody's in the same situation. It's like a support group. So we want to do that. And I'm going to make sure that all my documents, I have all my documents are going to be, they're on the website elsewhere in the world. We put them up there, but Desta said they're really not, you can't really access them. So I've still got a lot of those documents on my phone. I'm going to send them along and make sure that gets up there. And we're going to do some giveaways. We were talking about this. We have a couple of weird things. We've been in the field combined experience almost 100 years between the two of us. So we've got a lot of interesting things. And one of the things I mentioned to Desta this morning, we have like little prizes for the sort of the upper tier. And one of them is this. I've given a few of these away. This is actually from the Canadian Roswell case. This is the Falcon Lake case. Where the UFO lands and the guy puts his hand on the craft and he looks inside and he hears these voices and he's trying to talk in Polish and Russian and English and all these different languages, and then the craft turns and he gets burned. And this is a very famous case in Canada where he's taken to the Mayo Clinic. They've got all his records, and we actually went there with Rob Freeman, who we're going to actually be doing an interview with shortly. I'm very interested in his stuff where the blindfold reading, where kids and people are reading through blindfolds, and we're going to get him on there. But he's a film guy that runs around the world, and Desta and I actually were with him. He came to Winnipeg and he took us to Falcon Lake. We actually got on a bunch of horses and we drove into the forest. This thing is off the road, but it's in the middle of this forest. And the company that has this ranch right at the Trans-Canada Highway has these tours. So we went in on this tour, and we actually are at the site. And these guys were filming. They were talking to the tour guide, and he's describing how the Mikulak thing happened. And we're standing on the actual rock that this UFO landed. And so Desta, I started picking up pieces. I realized that the top of the rock was all fractured. So I started filling my pocket full of pieces of this rock. And then I saw Desta started doing the same thing. She was grabbing pieces. So we've got a number of these pieces. So the UFO in 1967, the foot of the UFO may actually have been sitting right on this very rock. We don't know, but we got these pieces off the top of this rock. So we've got that. And what was the other thing we were going to? The other thing I was going to give away. This is like a Christmas type thing where once a year, the one I'm going to give away is one of the rarest UFO books in the world. There's a book called The New Science. It was published by Merle Smith, who was the wife of Wilbert Brockhouse Smith, who ran the Canadian government flying saucer program in the 1950s. They had put out a book in 1964 that Wilbert had written, and Wilbert claimed that he had gotten it from intelligence sources higher than us, which indicated it was given to him by an alien by the name of Alpha. He wrote this entire book, and the last couple of chapters, last chapter he didn't get done. He died of cancer. He didn't get it done. And so it has been redone with AI, but there was only maybe, I'm saying less than 100 copies of this book published back in 1964. I had 3 copies of the book. I gave one to Mark Sims for this project where they're doing the AI project. And the other two copies I have, we'll give one of those away, and I can guarantee you this book was probably $1,000 on the internet because it's just so rare. Like I've had people contact me, do you know where this book is? And I really haven't really said too much because everybody will want my two books, but I may give one of these books away. So we've got that, and we're going to do a thing on questions and answers. And what else were we thinking about, Desta? You've got a whole category of things that we were gonna put up there. And again, we apologize to the Patreon people that we had that we didn't realize. We just didn't realize how it worked until Desta came across it the other day and said, "What's going on here?" And so we're going to start this, and it gives me an opportunity to put stuff. For me, it has to, like, if it stays for the rest of eternity, that's good. I want a place where all the material is stored, where people know where to go. It's easily accessed, and stuff that probably haven't heard, because I am the disclosure guy. I am the guy who doesn't really care what anybody says. They know, don't tell Cameron, he'll tell everybody, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put stuff up that I have sort of held back for many years for various reasons, and we'll put it up there. It's not going to be totally public to the whole internet, but the patrons will get to see some of these videos that I have that have never been released.
Yeah, I'll just add to that like another couple of things that we were talking about putting on there was free books. We're going to be doing books that are
Oh yeah.
going to be exclusive for Patreons and especially the courses. So the
Oh
courses we
yeah.
haven't started yet, but I've got lists and lists of ideas of both of us doing different kind of courses, maybe a handful of different modules, whether it's top cases or dowsing or some kind of contact modalities course, but we're going to be offering that to the patrons as well.
Yeah, that was one of our biggest books, was the contact modality book. And Desta, people may not know, she does regression, she does dowsing, she does channeling, and she's read all these books. She's gone these courses over and over, this course and that course, and she's an expert on all these different techniques. And so she's always wanted to have the courses. So I think this is something that we are going to offer, is the idea that UFOs is more than just UFOs. It's got to do with consciousness. It's got to do with all this kind of stuff. And when you see how it's all linked together, you realize this is sort of the biggest story of all times. That it's not just UFOs. That's why I'm so interested in the near-death experience thing. That there's just so many things that you hear in these near-death experiences where you go like, that's exactly the same as UFOs. It's like you wonder whether they're being abducted or whether it's a UFO thing. And to try to help out the near-death experiencer people in terms of the ones I've talked to. Chris Bledsoe had two. A lot of the experiences I've talked to, I don't think any of them had one. They all had two near-death experiences. So, but the courses are going to be very, very good because it gives people an opportunity to sit in their room and go through stuff from Desta, who I actually will assure you is an expert on a lot of stuff that has to do with esoteric and ancient stuff, and how these protocols got started, and where it comes from. And she's done all of them. She's trained all this kind of stuff. And I think you'll love her courses, which I'm not sure there's a couple around, but uh, that's something that we'll want to get out. And it's basically information. We want to get out information that we think is important, that people need to know. And we have restricted. And the other thing is we're bringing back the Presidential UFO website. So I recovered, before I dropped the website, I recovered all the material. So we are putting up all the presidential stuff. So you can go to any of the different presidents and you can read. I did research in most of the libraries for 30 years as to the documents, who saw what UFOs, who made comments, what they said. And you'll be very fascinated with this kind of stuff that came off the website. So Desta, that's the thing is, but this costs money, where Desta's fiance is a business person, and it's very hard for him to take off days to sit there and set up websites and do all this art stuff. And you were going to do some art stuff. You're with Matt's art stuff. Fascinating artist, and you have your own YouTube site, which is called Mysteria
Mysterio.
Luna. Mysteria Luna, and you can see the art that Matt does. And we're going to have some of this stuff where you can see the talent that Matt has and the stuff that he does. We're going to put some of that stuff on. So that's what we're just looking at. And I was busy out having breakfast and partying around yesterday, and Desta was busy working on this when she has a mortgage and she has stuff to do. So hopefully we can get some assistance from people to help us put this stuff up. And once it's there for history. And that's what it's all about, is coming here to raise consciousness among people that are maybe less fortunate, don't have the material that we have, the information we have, and I can assure you that I'm not going to hold anything back, and we're going to put up everything that we have, and I think you'll find it very fascinating.
Yep, sounds good. I'm working on it. We're going to work on it all this weekend, and probably within a week, the website and the Patreon will be fully functional and up for everyone. I'll put a link in this when I post it.
Beautiful. And thank Matt for his work yesterday. I mean, you told me, the what he's supposed to be doing on the weekends in terms of business, because you have anybody has a rock garden near Toronto. Matt's your guy. He does this and during the summer. So at this point of the year, they're extremely busy and they've got stuff to do. During the winter, it's a little bit better, but I appreciate your time, taking time off from what you're supposed to be doing to help set this thing up, and hopefully we can get it going soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.